Hey everyone, so this is going to be a collective read for anyone that is resonating with the frequency of the message. So if it resonates, the message is for you, and if it doesn't, maybe the next one will be. And I'm going to get your energy first. That one almost slipped over, but I'm going to keep going. It's the Nine of Swords. I pulled it anyways. I feel like it was supposed to come out. It was still poking out, so let's see what else. So the Nine of Swords, you could be feeling anxiety, and it's causing problems with like your sleep, so you're not able to get restful sleep. And I'm going to get one more card to clarify why the Nine of Swords is here. The Knight of Wands. So this is 2 nines, so this is, you're almost at the end of a journey. So with the Nine of Wands, you have been through a lot, but you're still standing strong. But I feel like what you've been through, you're still wounded from it. You're still struggling through the processing of the emotional toll that it took on you. Because subconsciously, we have the Judgment card, so you're releasing your old self within this process of standing up for yourself. So I feel like the old you wouldn't have did this, and you holding these boundaries, it's almost like it's a trauma response. You don't feel safe because you're having to hold these boundaries, and when you do that, you lose people, or people fall away that were taking advantage of those boundaries, of you not having those boundaries. So I feel like with the Judgment card, you're releasing the need to please these people. And I'm going to get the outside energy to see what's influencing your energy externally, because I feel like this internal battle, you haven't maybe told a lot of people about it. You're just struggling internally. The Nine of Swords, you're having trouble like putting into words how you're feeling because you just feel so defensive after what you've been through. So I'm going to ask for one card for the outside energy. So there's 2 cards. So we have the Five of Swords and the Magician. So this other person, or the energy around you, there's a lot of conflict, but the conflict is caused by external ego. So I feel like this person is manipulative. They manipulate because they have a fragile ego. The Five of Swords is the minor arcana, so like this can be overcame, but they choose, with the Magician, they choose to use their ability to read your emotions against you. Because with the Magician, it's upright, but it can also mean this person is good at manipulation. And with the Five of Swords, it's because you hurt their feelings. So if you ever say anything, even if you don't realize it's happening, that hurts their feelings, they're going to retaliate. And I feel like that's why you're having to hold the boundaries, but it's a healthy thing that you're doing this. Maybe you're questioning that. And your energy after the 2 nines, the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands, is Justice and 6 of Cups. So I feel like the sense of balance that you need is going to be coming in, but it's not going to be from this person. It's going to be from a person that makes you feel more at home, because I'm getting the sense that this other person makes you feel like you're not welcome. So to bring this balance back in your life, where this person made you feel this way, and I feel like it was purposely, you need to find safe people to release your anxiety. So I feel like you need to vent. Like, you need people, safe people that you can vent to, because like I said earlier, holding it in, it's like you're not telling anyone because you're questioning the decisions you're making. But if you embrace genuine connection, you would get the validation that you need. And that validation, I feel like you need it to finish the emotional processing that you're trying to do right now. Subconsciously, the Four of Swords, there is a sense of something that you're not seeing that can help you heal. So I feel like you're not seeing the power of having genuine connection, even if it's not like a very deep connection at first. Just kind of testing the waters and realizing that there are other people out there who are like you, and you don't have to rely on people who bring you anxiety. And the next we have the Ten of Swords and the Lovers. So the Lovers, I feel like you're going to be making a decision, and the Ten of Swords is to end a cycle. And with this past situation, the cycle, there's a sense of betrayal or a sense of trust that isn't there anymore because of their actions. So the decision you make is a decision between, it's hard to explain, because I feel like the duality is coming in a lot here. So it's a decision between the dark and the light, but you're also, I feel like you're getting in the middle. So you're having to embrace your shadow side to process and move through this past situation, but you're also having to embrace your light to bring in the future that you have waiting. And the Ten of Swords, there's the energy of vengeance. So this past person could have been very vindictive in their behavior. They were doing things to learn your triggers, and then they were trying to intentionally flood your emotions so that you're overwhelmed and you're not able to process them in a healthy way. Because if you did, you would have seen earlier on in the situation that they were not good for you. So they're constantly manipulating you and then trying to flood your emotions so you can't act on what you feel. That was too many, so I'm gonna shuffle again. I'm gonna get an outcome for you and to see what comes after you make this decision. The King of Wands. So if you're looking for a healthy relationship, this situation, you're having to realize that some people don't change. There's never a sense of growth in their life, but I don't know if it's a past person or someone you're going to meet in the future, but I feel like it's someone who has went through their own sense of transformation, so they can relate to what you're feeling. And the King of Wands, he has a salamander on his shirt, and they're just known for rebirth and the sense of transformation. So this person, it could be a he or she, depending on whoever this collective reading is for. But with the Ten of Swords, I feel like you're not going to be able to attract the type of energy that you're looking for until you make the concrete decision to completely move on from the past, even if those thoughts and doubts, if you made the right decision, are still lingering. Because like I said, this person floods your emotions, so you're not going to be able to balance them or process them in a healthy way until you are away from it for a longer amount of time. So the Ten of Swords I always see as someone going no contact. So they're ending the cycle. They're choosing to end the cycle. And the Five of Cups, subconsciously, I feel like this person never gave to you in a way that could be received because the manipulation was there. So it wasn't a genuine affection, and maybe you felt like you were being too needy, but what was being given wasn't genuine. So this is just leaving this person in a place of, I don't feel like it's regret, but they are losing the validation that you gave them emotionally. And I feel like they're almost feeding off of that. So that could be why the Nine of Swords came in the beginning, why you're feeling anxious or sleepless, because they're siphoning your energy. They want your validation, even though they're intentionally trying to hurt you. And I'm going to get one more card for advice. And if you can relate to this reading, like my collective is a lot, mostly empaths. So if you don't know what that is, you could look that up and maybe study it some more, because even though I feel like you're a very strong person, you're vulnerable, you put yourself out there, and some people take advantage of that. But once you are able to discern when you can be vulnerable and like who is not a safe person to be vulnerable with, that's where your intuition starts being your superpower instead of your downfall, or the emotions that you pick up. Instead of being overwhelmed by them, you start to use those to work in your favor. So for advice, the Seven of Wands, I always see this as finding your center, the place inside of yourself that you can always come back to. It's like your internal light, and just embracing that, because when you do that, you attract genuine connection, because you have the genuine connection to yourself. And the Seven of Wands, she's meditating in the picture, but there's all of these wands around her. She's being attacked from multiple directions, but she's completely at peace. So if you're questioning if you're making the right decisions, if you don't have support around you, just know that everything you need is within you already.